which is why I maintain that the easiest and simplest way for Michael to prove what he said happened is for him to just ask for the damn body cam and release it unedited. It's that easy.
It doesn't change that domestic violence happened that night, but rather that you're not going to jail for it. Can't prosecute him, and like, I mean, he's still always. This is always going to be on in the court of public opinion.
What is going on? What is going on, everybody? You might be seeing somebody here that you haven't seen in a while. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, sir?
I'm obviously Zeph. I'm Zeph. I'm the other part of the lasting opinion.
Are you though? Are you?
I've been busy with life and busy on the XXP channel, but I'm here. Just been busy.
Exactly, Miss Jess. Who is that? Shout out to Miss Jess and Seek in the chat. All right, guys. So if earlier today you watched the video of us going over, well, of myself going over all the new information that we have for Kid Behind the Camera, then you know that the fact that they were saying, hey, it's going to be dropped, most likely is what's going on. They're also attempting to get this blemish expunged from Michael's record. Okay, so Zeph hasn't actually put any of his ideas or thoughts, or we haven't really conversed about the whole situation.
I have a lot of thoughts.
We haven't conversed about the whole situation. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to take a look at Revelation. She's somebody that we used to know from the LCU network and still find us to be in, you know, a good standing, but we're just going to look at her video real quick and we're going to discuss this and see exactly what Zeph's willing to put out there on wax.
Might surprise you.
Never know.
When he fucking hit me, I fucking saw white, so whatever that fucking means.
Great start.
You saw lights when he hit you?
Yep, the 911 call.
Did you pass out?
Hurry now, please hurry. Please.
They're on the way. They're already on the way.
Kid Behind the Camera, real name Michael Green, is a YouTube content creator who is more known for his role on The Angry Grandpa Show and has 2.52 million subscribers, was arrested on April 3rd, 2025 for domestic violence after his wife or...
And you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? Hey, look at that. Seek said Glep. He knows.
Yeah, that's right. It's Glep.
You know what's actually crazy? So in today's video, when I was going over, because people were saying that South Carolina legislation doesn't allow for, or doesn't force body cam and all that, and I went over the legislation that actually shows that last year they actually implemented the law to require body cam footage. So it's crazy that this happened this year. The whole Kid Behind the Camera situation happened this year. And it was only last year where they actually implemented a law for South Carolina to require body cam footage. So it's,
there's still a couple states. There's still a lot of states that don't require it. So that's why, like, a lot of people are asking, like, where's the body cam footage? Well, not a lot of states have it. And there's a lot of legal tape to wade through to even get to it.
And at the end of the day, if you're not a party proponent of it, meaning you're not within the actual case itself, it's easy enough for them to turn around and say no. Like, that's really what it is. Like, they have the ability to turn around and be like, nah, we're not going to give it to you. Whereas if you're actually a part of it, like Michael or Bridget, they are required by law to give it to you, which is why I maintain that the easiest and simplest way for Michael to prove what he said happened is for him to just ask for the damn body cam and release it unedited. It's that easy. Like, it's that simple. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know. But
it's a simple solution that would clear his name, but the likelihood of him actually doing that, probably because, you know, doesn't actually look that good for him, highly unlikely. Unlikely, especially now.
Right. And so here's the other thing. Here's the number one reason why I actually would like the body cam footage is because there is like a 99% chance of actually seeing how her face was actually read. Right, because they were saying this entire time, Boogie and Keem were all saying, oh, well, she had redness to her face. It's probably because she was drinking. But like, as we just saw, Bridget's a pretty like fair-skinned lady. She's got some rosy cheeks and all that, but if it was enough to identify specifically what side of her face was red, it was because it was more red than the rest of it. It wasn't like, oh, she was flushed from drinking or something. But that's the number one reason why. Like, and on top of that, of course, the secondary reason would be if he actually was saying it in the manner that he's stating that he was, if he was being very belligerent with it when he was saying that he had hit her, which obviously, if those two things come back negatively for Michael, I think that's kind of the nail in the coffin at that point.
There's two aspects of this that are very important. Not only is it just the actual case itself, or the actual like body cam, the call, the charges themselves, but it's also how they're handling it. And part of the reason why I get irritated the most when it comes to how they're handling it is because rather than saying the charges are going to be dropped, Keem last night on Lolcow was saying, I know you didn't hit her. I know you didn't hit her. But it's not about whether or not he hit her or not. It's about if the charges were pressed or not. And that's based on the state of Arkansas, not whether or not he hit her.
South Carolina, but yeah. Arkansas is
South
biggest
Carolina,
state. Well, here's the biggest issue that I have is you can't sit there and say, I know you didn't do this, and at the same time say nobody knows what happened because we weren't there. You can't, like, that's the whole thing that pisses me off with them. And you can call it sweeping because it really kind of is, whether intentionally or unintentionally it is. And that's the most annoying part about it, is that on one hand, they're going to be like, well, you weren't there, you don't know, but I know because they told me. And it's like, okay, well,
he specifically would not give an answer or his thoughts on what happened with Richie, but he definitively was like willing to say, Michael didn't do it. Michael didn't do it. Like,
right. And it's
the same. It's the same, if not worse, because Richie never got arrested. Michael did.
Right. Well, and then here's the thing too that I was saying when it came to them being like, oh, well, the charges are getting dropped. And it's like, okay, but that doesn't mean he's innocent. Like, that doesn't mean he's innocent. No. He wasn't acquitted. He wasn't found not guilty. He wasn't, freaking convicted and then found innocent later. Like, it simply means the charges are getting dropped, which could be a plethora of reasons. And if you're somebody who's saying, well, his charges are getting dropped, so that means he's innocent, then I pose this question to you. Does that mean EDP is innocent? Because his charges were dropped as well due to a mishandling of information. Or mishandling of fucking evidence. So if Michael's innocent because his charges got dropped, then you have to keep the same energy for EDP and say that he's innocent because his charges got dropped, which I am not willing to do. I don't have that hubris in me. Sorry.
Who is more known for his role on the Angry Grandpa Show and has 2.52 million subscribers, was arrested on April 3rd, 2025 for domestic violence after his wife, or soon-to-be ex-wife, called and reported that he had hit her.
No one believes us. This is the boy who cried wolf.
Yes!
Guys, we never lied about any of our marital or like when we were boyfriend girlfriend problems. We fight like a normal couple.
No, not a normal one, but...
Excuse me, no, Bridget. Normal couples fight like this, okay? That's very common.
Really?
I don't know any normal couple that gets drunk and pushes each other and throws shit around the house with their kids there.
Yeah,
I don't have kids.
No.
I don't have kids, but that's not normal to me. Like, I've never I've never in my life thought that was normal or something that should happen. Like, if you have a drinking problem, or if you have an anger problem, I should say, don't mix alcohol with it. Don't drink if you know you have an anger issue, or if you know you can't handle your liquor. And a lot of them were saying, oh, well, Michael didn't start drinking until fat camp. So does that mean that he's been drinking a fuck ton since fat camp? Like, is that what's going on here? Because, like Tina said in her response to try and defend Mike, that that's what they do. They get drink and push each other or put hands on each other. It's like, that's not a defense. Like, that's
because
not
it's normal for them doesn't mean it get okay.
No, it's definitely not okay. BB Phil, Mike just said on Aussie that he's still a powerful individual, even though people say he fell off. He says he still makes $50K a month and people should beware. Yeah, beware of what exactly? Litigation? That's about it.
Are you telling us that you intimidated the police? Is that what you're trying to tell me right now? Like, that doesn't make you look good, buddy.
Well, even so, if you're paying to get rid of something as like, again, I know this might sound wrong, but if you're paying to like cover up domestic violence in the third degree, where the maximum amount you're going to spend is 90 days in jail, or a fine of $2,500, like, you're a weak man. I'm sorry. Like, I understand spending money to get out of like murder or like embezzlement or, like tax evasion or something like that, something huge, something big. And I'm not saying that this isn't big. What I'm saying is the repercussions for this are incredibly minute. Unfortunately, like, I disagree with you only getting 90 days in jail for slapping your wife or your husband around. Like, that's wrong, in my opinion. But I mean, just because you make a bunch of money doesn't mean anything, man. Like, if you don't have people who are willing to crash out for you or do these deeds for you, who cares? Sorry. I'm not afraid of internet.
In my personal opinion, I've always held this opinion of Mike since he joined Locale, because I didn't really even know who he was. I've heard of Angry Grandpa, but I've never really known of Mike or Kid Behind the Camera. There's a reason why his name is called Kid Behind the Camera, because he's the one holding the fucking camera. But I don't think he's that entertaining. I know that people love him from the Angry Grandpa days, and they give a lot of him flowers from him being a part of Angry Grandpa and Tina and all the who I consider to be the actual legends. But right. I don't find Mike that entertaining personally. So even though he says he's a power individual, I don't understand why, other than the fact that he essentially inherited what was left of Angry Grandpa whenever he died.
But even then, it's like, what actual power? You a mod for Cafe, right? Plus Docket. Oh, he's talking to Seek. What actual power do you have? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, outside of YouTube, what real power are you going to turn around and have? What, you going to send a goon to somebody's house? You going to somehow magically pay their employer to get them freaking fired? You're gonna pay someone to hack somebody? Like, those are all things that any random normal human being could do. Fucking hell, Kiwi Farms and Reddit do it on a daily basis, and most of them, I'm not gonna say most of them, but a good amount of them have been exposed, especially during the Ethan lawsuit, to be like jobless basement dwellers. So it's like, you don't need 50K a month in order to be able to do something like that. I'm sorry, I don't fear him for what? Beware of what? Like, who cares?
And your 50K a month is coming probably mostly from old videos that you recorded years ago.
I don't know. I think the internet tough guy bullshit, where it's like, I have 1 million subscribers, be scared of me. It's like, motherfucker, I turn off my my freaking computer and you don't exist anymore. Like, what should I be scared of?
Yeah. Yes, it's common for people to fight. They just don't tell anybody. They lie.
No, when he fucking hit me, I fucking saw white, so whatever that fucking means.
Both Michael and Bridget said that Bridget lied about being hit that night. Even though the police report had stated Michael admitted to slapping her twice in the face, and the police reported seeing redness on Bridget's face the night they arrived. July 24th, Michael went to court and the documents are finally released. As you can see here, Michael Green is trying to expunge the record. For those of you who do not know,
yeah, so basically he's getting it dropped. He wants it expunged, but the same thing that depending on how minor of an offense you might have, you can easily get it expunged, or you might have to take like anger management courses for a DV thing, a charge, et cetera, et cetera. You never really know. But so we pretty much know everything at this point, except for having the damn body cam footage, which I'm really only going to give it one more go. And if I can't end up getting like the FOIA request to the right fucking person this time, I'm kind of gonna just give up on it, because it's gone through so many different it's gone through so many different parts of court. The last FOIA request that I sent went through like four different agencies within the court system and shit. And then the first one was Somerville, which had to be pushed over, or Somerville or over to Dorchester, then back over to blah blah blah, back and forth. It's just been a hassle. There's no freaking direct line for it. So, but Zeph, what do you think happened that night exactly, based off of all the information you've got?
I think he did do it. I do think he slapped her around a little bit, and that's just the light version of it. Now that doesn't mean that he's inherently guilty. That doesn't make him necessarily a bad person. We all fuck up and we all make mistakes. However, sometimes you make mistakes and then you get the police called on you, and then now we find out about it. There's not the thing that really, I think, both encouraged you as well as like encouraged me to look at this and actually look at it rather than just listen to the lolcow or listen to Keemstar and the host say, "Oh, it's nothing. Oh, it's nothing," is because they kept trying to sweep it under the rug.
Yeah.
When this could have been something serious. This is still domestic violence. And even on the phone call, she admitted that she was saying that before he even hit her, he was throwing things around. That's still domestic violence.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
100%.
It doesn't change that domestic violence happened that night, but rather that you're not going to jail for it. Now, am I going to call you a wife beater? No, I don't think you're inherently a wife beater. I think you got drunk, you made a mistake, and hopefully you've learned from it. Now, if we get another police report and we find out this happens again, then we got a pattern of, we got a pattern. But until then, or rather, hopefully that doesn't happen again. But if that happens again, we'll be right back where we are, and we'll have a comment. We'll have, we'll have thoughts about it. But as of right now, we just hope that it was a mistake. It got expunged. It's not getting expunged yet, but it got dropped. So he's lucky on that aspect. It could have been a lot worse. There's a lot of states that go a lot harder for people who do domestic violence. So.
Yeah, well, I think it's because of just a lack of like real evidence. Like it obviously she didn't have any like major bruising. There wasn't any blood spilt or anything like that. If what they were saying, what she was saying was true about him throwing stuff around, none of that was documented in the police report. So it's entirely possible that they cleaned up prior to the police getting there. Who knows exactly? But BB Phil says, did they time that Becky stunt with some of this in mind? I honestly, I don't know. So. I don't think so. I really think that that was planned a long time ago. I think that was something that they probably were like, oh, this is going to be really good. I mean, the entire thing is a work. It's all a script. It's all like in some way, shape or form, basically just WWE at this point. People are going to enjoy it the same way they're going to enjoy Keeping Up with the Kardashians, right? Or the Real Housewives.
I still enjoy it, but I'm very realistic about what it is. Like whenever this whole thing happened and the circuit thing happened, as soon as I found out that Mike was in control of this B circuit, I was like, he's going to use that as an excuse to bring back Becky. That's an easy like path back. I can see that right now. They kept saying, no, we're not going to do it, and then the next day, boom. Not a surprise. Not a surprise to me whatsoever.
That's kind of what tells you what's going to happen. Pretty much, if they're saying it's not happening or it's not real, then it's most likely real. Like that's probably. Thank you, Octalong, for coming a showstopper. Seek, Mike's brother also hit Bridget a few years ago. That poor woman. I did hear about that, but I also do remember hearing or seeing that those charges were dropped as well. But see, that was another thing that I was finding interesting, right? When it comes to like Tina's defense of Mike and everything, she was like, oh yeah, by the way, don't you remember these 3 other people who were also charged with domestic violence in our family and their charges got dropped? And I'm like, that's not the defense you think it is. Like, why are so many people in this circle getting charged with domestic violence? And then
your family has a pattern of abuse. That's what you just told me.
That's literally what you just told me. It's crazy. It's wild. I don't understand it. I mean, look, it is the South. It is what it is. I don't know. I can't. That's not something that I condone. And as much as I dislike domestic violence, I don't condone any harassment or anything being done towards any of the people that are in this situation, whether they, you dislike them because they disagree with you or they're sweeping or anything. It ain't for you to, vigilantize on them. That's my personal opinion. Honestly, from everything that I've seen, I think it happened one of 2 ways. I think they started yelling, they got into an argument, and while he was throwing something scenario 1, he's throwing something, it hits her face, and that's why her face is so red, right? And that's when she leaves. He probably doesn't notice that he hit her with something while he was throwing stuff, right? Because in the police report, it states that when he realized what he did, so he had a come to Jesus moment, a moment of clarity, or right, they're pushing each other back and forth. She goes to push him and he like puts his hands up or something like that and probably hits her in the face. Do I think it was full on? He just like grabbed her and decided to treat her like Frieza with Goku? I don't think that's what happened.
No.
I think they were getting into a shoving match. They were pushing. They started going from pushing to shoving to like aggressively, you know, pushing and grabbing each other. And somewhere along the lines, they probably both hit each other. It's just Bridget was the one to call. I think that's pretty much.
It could have been something where she was like, "I'm gonna leave. I'm leaving. This is dumb." And he stood in the doorway, and she started walking that way, and he like pushed her back to try to keep her from leaving. There's a lot of things that could have happened, but like we don't have the body cam and we don't have images inside their house, so we don't really know.
And we
keep
can't
in
trust
mind,
anything they
keep
say.
in mind that the reason why this whole argument supposedly happened was because Bridget got into his phone, saw that he was texting all these women, and then she told him that she had an affair. This part doesn't make sense to me. Listen, I'm a monogamous man. I'm a monogamous man. I don't get this whole you can be plural and you can do whatever you want, but I'm gonna be angry at you. Yeah, I'm gonna be angry at you for not being poly or not being monogamous. Like that don't make sense to me. You do you, boo. But let me tell you, that shit don't make sense to me. If you can go out and you can sleep with hookers, why can't she go out and sleep with male hookers? I don't get it. But that's just me.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, right? It's like prior to Michael like getting out of jail and everything, we had his story of events that he had hit her, realized it, blah, 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 blah. But then when she gets out, she then takes his story and says the same thing he did, only that saying it was her fault, that she was the one who did it. So I just think it was odd that prior to April 8th, the story was Michael was the aggressor. And then after April 8th, after the bond is out and after Michael gets out, and supposedly that same day, him, Tina, and Bridget all met together at the same place, just the three of them from what they've stated. And after that day, Bridget's story changed. So
mind you that just because he is not guilty doesn't mean he didn't potentially violate his bond, because there's almost 3 different counts or times where he's been on record either on camera or by his self-admission via a video or an audio that he was with Bridget, even though his bond conditions specifically and strictly state to not get in contact with the partner or to not go to her premises or to not be within so many feet of her. There's multiple things that Tina has says and that he has submitted to the internet that essentially prove otherwise. So that still definitely happened. So I mean, he was not convicted on his bond. I mean, he didn't have a bond officer come get him. So that's a whole other thing.
But the fact that the way that the charges were taken out with the null prosecute or whatever the fuck it is, basically saying that they're not going to prosecute, it still leaves it open. It doesn't mean that it's closed. It's just simply the charges are suspended, which means that if the DA's office looks in potentially, if the DA office actually ends up looking and seeing that his bond conditions were broken, it could be a reason for them to reignite the case and go forward with charges. But it's just one of those things where it might be way more of a hassle to keep pushing forward on this as a civilian than it would be to just be like, look, this is where we're at and we've pretty much done everything we can. Seek, I honestly think they only made the relationship work for so long so they could keep the channel going and keep making money, but there's also always a breaking point. Yeah, and I agree with that too. I think honestly that's true. I mean, look at all of the like the family shows or the family YouTubers, right, that all come together and then there's a bunch of like abuse in it, or there's YouTubers there's YouTubers who like get together, get into a relationship, and then all of a sudden their numbers grow, but they actually hate each other after a year, but they stay together because they get views together, they don't get views separately, right? Or one is more popular than the other, etc. Well, Yeah, I think that that's pretty much the end of it. I mean, unless we manage to find the body cam footage, there's really nothing else to go forward with this, or unless something hits the internet.
It's a fine bookend. It's a fine bookend for right now. I mean, can't prosecute him, and like, I mean, he's still always. This is always going to be on in the court of public opinion.
Yeah,
and I've noticed that from the beginning, since we released that audio, that there's a lot of people that are going to hear Bridget crying the way she is, and they're either going to go, that is a battered woman, or they don't like Bridget for some reason, or I don't really know what their reasoning is, but they think she's a lying bitch. Like, there is no in between. It's either battered woman, lying bitch. I swear to Christ, I haven't heard anybody say, well, it sounds like this, but it could be this. It's always that's one or the other.
Yeah. The comments are one way or the other. Very few are they ever like, she could be lying, you know. But that's the other portion. That's the other bad thing about the whole everything is scripted with these people, is that if it was ever true, it's just crying wolf 24/7. But that concludes that segment. So you remember a animal enthusiast by the name of Vaush?
Oh boy, yes I do.
Well,
it was a hot topic for like
it was a hot topic for a minute. Well, some new information, some new allegations, I should say, have come forward of Vaush talking to an underage person.
From zero to hero, we rise up tall. T-Lo, we cover them all. No one better, we defeat